We were notified today that Bjergsen is choosing to decline our offer and pursuing a project with a different team. While we're incredibly disappointed, we wish him the best of luck.
Short time after TSM has announced that Bjergsen has left.
Because they offered him the bag and he said no. Slapped the bag out their hand and said no, I want to win.
After a massive legacy and almost single-handedly building up one of the strongest esports organizations in history, news has come out that Bjergsen is no longer returning to TSM for the 2022 season and will be partaking in free agency. Although this is massive news for sure, there's good reason why Bjergsen's opted to do this, and I think it's honestly in his best interest to be going for this. Let's break down first the timeline of events that happened, and then try to best break down the implications of this potential shift. I'm obviously not Bjergsen, and this isn't to assume that I know his reasons, but there is an opportunity to explore this topic, and that's what we're looking to do here. So a quick timeline. A lot of the information here was gathered from various sources, especially from Reginald, CEO of TSM, who managed to provide a ton of valuable insight and context to the story here. Starting in early September, Bjergsen notified TSM that he was interested in playing again, which set the tone for what was going to be a rather eventful offseason for the organization. Bjerg and the org subsequently think together about building a roster, and Bjerg was also allowed to explore for his options here. Of course, Bjerg coming back to play after a year off means that he's going to have some expectations based on his personal goals, and that he wouldn't really settle to just randomly start playing again. Reggie specifically states that there are specific players that he was looking to play with, and that TSM would make extended efforts to work with that player, extending to potentially a 7-figure buyout. To TSM's dismay, they were not able to secure that player, which is already a bad sign for Soren's probability of rejoining. By the deadline of the end of October, Bjergsen ended up declining the prepared offer that TSM had given him and is now on the board for free agency. It's also indicated in their announcement video that Bjergsen was given a decent plan as to what the roster would look like, so he generally knew what tools he had to work with. So his decision to not continue was definitely planned out, and he was prepared to do this from the start. Before we guess the reason why Bjergsen left, let's clear up a couple of pieces of information as well. Reggie has disclosed that Bjergsen had a good idea of the roster already before making his decision, and has also confirmed that Huni and Spica will be playing for the team next year. It's possible that these bits of information were confirmed at different times, as in Huni and Spica being locked in after Bjergsen declined his offer, but it's also possible that these were going to be what made part of the team here. Either way though, Bjergsen declined his offer based on this information, which tells me a couple of things here. One, as identified, there were some limitations on which talent was available for the team, as this offseason seems to be fairly contested by many of the teams around the world. This translated into a fairly clear idea of the structure behind the team and the plan for it, and when Bjergsen heard about what it'd be like, he likely didn't feel that it was enough. Two, Bjergsen's goals are very transparent, at least based on what we're seeing here. Being among the most decorated and respected players in the LCS, if Bjergsen's going to come out of retirement, he's going to have some expectations. He wants to win. He wants to bring success to the table that he was never able to have in his career yet, which is why he's switching things up here. He's going to do whatever it takes to achieve greatness at his level of play, and he's not afraid to try new things along the process. I think this is both extremely exciting and scary at the same time, but mostly a potentially great move by Bjergsen. You always want to be surrounding yourself by people who can teach you more and help you improve, but I think Bjergsen's role on the team has been more so bringing up other players rather than picking up new things. Another thing I'd probably mention just for the sake of it is that money doesn't really matter here. Bjergsen's goals are truly to win, and it's been mentioned that he's taken pay cuts before in order to make sure that he can get the best roster possible in order to win. So no matter what dollar amount is on the table for him, he's going to go for the roster that can let him win. International victory and success is irreplaceable, and Bjergsen's willing to do whatever it takes to let that happen. There's no point spending another year on a roster that won't achieve what he's looking for, so from my point of view, this is how his priorities lie. I also think that this is great for Bjergsen because this is by all means a fresh start for him. Although this may not mean anything on its own, having the right mental model for these things is incredibly important, and it's quite possible that Bjergsen will get some meaningful insight working with new structures, new management, and new players. That's pretty much as quick of a synopsis of the situation that I can bring to the table, so hopefully this was insightful to you at home. Again, I don't want to pretend I know everything about the situation, TSM or Bjergsen, because that's not what I wanted to do here. However, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay fresh.